Okay, we're going to start by just connecting with your friend on the table. We'll start with some gentle rocking. It just kind of helps your friend on the table to begin to relax and let go. And it feels really nice. Rocking around the hips just very gently. I'm working down the side, starting up at the top and working my way down the spine. Just doing this very gently. And down the leg. And we'll go on up to the top again here and go on over to the other side. Start loosening up the hip area a little bit here. And down the legs again. And a little more around the hips here. Okay, and it's always good as we finish rocking to just hold for a few moments, to just let it all settle down, settle in. Okay, we can begin by applying oil with long strokes. These are really relaxing. Nice back and forth. Long back and forth strokes. Okay. Both sides at the same time, down over the hips, up over the shoulders. And now down either side of the spine, like so. We always want to stay off the spine, off the bones. We're just working on the muscles. And usually when you're working with your thumbs, you want to use the whole thumb. Just feels better this way. Now you can work down the sides. So what we're doing is feeling for tight areas. It feels a little more tight right here. So we spend a little more time there. And what we want to do while we're working is use our body in such a way, our body mechanics, so we can lean into it. The pressure is really coming from our whole body weight. Of course, if you're a large person, you don't want to go too deep, but basically it's just leaning into it and keeping the back straight, just using the legs for leverage and just leaning down into it so you don't strain your back that way. It feels better. Again, going down over the hips. Usually do strokes like this 3 or 4 times. Don't want to go too fast. Slower movements are more relaxing. Also, like I'm finding a tight area right here, so you can just spend more time using both thumbs. Okay, so I'm working over this, my hands over the spine here, but I'm not putting any weight on the spine. Just working down the muscle group, down to the side of the spine. All the way down. And on the other side, same thing. And just get some extra tension down around the hips. Here. Working the palm of my hands against around the hips. And back up. And now we can go down both sides at the same time. This is really important to work the muscle groups where they attach to the spine. And work the attachment points. It really helps the muscle group to let go. So we give extra tension here along the spine. All the way down around the hips, back up. And while we're working down these muscles on either side of the spine, our focus is with the thumbs, but we're really using our whole hand here and just getting the whole back region. So with a little more pressure on the thumbs. Just working the whole back all the way down. And we'll do some long strokes again, always using long strokes to integrate and moving from one area to another. Always coming back to these nice long strokes. They're so relaxing. Use the forearms, just leaning down into it. And we can go over the other side and begin to work on the side with some back and forth strokes, starting down around the hips, working our way up. Getting a little extra tension up here around the shoulder blades, area that usually gets tight on most people. And we can work this way too, putting a hand over the other hand. We can just lean into that hand a little bit more. This way I can just put a little more weight into it, this area that tends to get so tight. And then we'll take the arm, give it a little rock, a gentle rock, and we're going to sit on the edge of the table and set the arm over our leg, like so. This way we can work a little bit more under the shoulder blade. It lifts it up a little bit. Like so. Over the shoulders, and we can begin to lean into it with our forearms. Here we're staying off the spine. just going up along the muscle. And check in here. This can be deep. You want to check in with your friend on the table. Make sure you're not going too deep. Make sure you're not overextending your own shoulder. You don't want to strain your shoulder doing this. And be gentle. It just works really well for getting in along that muscle, especially up between the shoulder blades. Okay, so we're using the forearm here, not so much the point of the elbow. It just feels better, and make sure you're not putting too much pressure on your shoulders. You don't want to strain your shoulder. You don't want to be using that much pressure. Okay, and we can finish up. Put our arm back, and we'll go back and do some long strokes again to integrate before we go to the other side. Okay, I'll go to the other side and do the same thing. Here we're doing the same back and forth movement, up around between the shoulder blades. Just starting down the hips, working up to the top of the back. There's a little extra time up here at the top. Okay, and then again we take the arm, giving it a little rock, setting it over the knee, and we'll start to work up the side of the back with the forearm again. Going slow, taking your time. Okay, and now we can begin to work more on the lower back. Back and forth strokes here. Over the hips. Some more back and forth movement, up and down the side of the back. And we can start to use the forearms a little on the lower back too here. All the way down. Always staying off the spine. On the other side, we can actually use both forearms at the same time. I'm going up the top and across the bottom with my lower arm. And some more back and forth. And kind of a ringing motion here, back and forth over the hips, the lower back. I'm starting to go up the back a little bit, down. Okay. So to finish off, we'll do a few long strokes just to kind of bring it all together. end by holding for a few moments. Just hold for a moment. Relax before we move on. Okay, so we begin with the legs. We'll start by undraping so they're comfortable. Okay. And then apply some oil to the legs. Here we always begin by applying the oil with our long strokes. And you're just introducing yourself to that body part. And you can do some back and forth strokes over the calves. And continue on up over the top of the leg. You always want to go gently, lightly over the knee. And here we're working with our thumbs, the whole thumbs again, over the calf muscles. And we don't want to use the point of the thumbs because this would be ticklish on some people. So just work the whole thumbs along the belly of the muscle here. Work out those tight muscles. And continue on up. Go all the way up to the hips on the outside. Working up the back of the legs. Up around the hip and down. Long strokes. And then we're going to pick the foot up like so and give it a gentle rock again. We're holding by the ankles and lifting it up and giving a little rock. This actually will help the friend on the table to let her muscles go in the legs. Just let go of any holding. And it actually feels really good. And again, sit on the table and with her foot on my shoulder, and work down the back of the legs again. You're going to go crisscross. Crossing, kind of a ringing motion. Up to the back of the legs. Back up to the hips and down. And you can gently bring the leg back down, giving a little rock again, getting it in good position. And do some final strokes up the leg again. Always finishing with long strokes. All the way up to the hips and back down. Okay, one last time. Good. Okay, and then we go to the other side. We'll start by applying oil with long strokes. And start with the back and forth strokes on the calves. Up to the upper thigh, around the hips, and then using our thumbs up over the calf muscles again. Remember, we're using the whole thumb so it doesn't tickle, it's not uncomfortable. All the way up. Okay, and then we'll lift the foot up again, giving it a little rock. Shake out any tension. Set it on your shoulder and work the back of the legs from here. Down the calf, up the thigh. Crossing. Okay. And then bring it back down. And finish with your long strokes. Bring it all together. Okay, now before we go on to the other side, let's just hold for a few moments and just let her integrate everything that we've done. Okay, well, before we begin, we want to take a few moments again just to hold her feet this time. Holding a person's feet can be really relaxing. So we'll just help her to settle down in before we get started. Okay, and then we'll begin with the top of the leg. First, applying the oil with your long strokes. All the way up to hip and back down to the feet. And then we're going to start with the feet. Here I'm focusing on the top of the foot with my thumbs and the bottom of the feet with my fingers. I'm going up and down the top of the foot, and the instep with the thumbs. And squeezing motion here, the bottom of the fingers, around the heel, down to the toes, just getting the whole foot, the top and the bottom here. Around the instep some more, the bottom of the foot with the thumbs. Okay, and then I want to work around the heels a little bit, and then we'll start working on the leg. And here we're working up either side of the tibia bone on the front of the leg. And on up to the upper thigh. Working our way up to the hip. Back and forth. Yeah. Okay. On down again. Do some long strokes again to finish off on the leg. All the way up to the hip and down to the foot. Okay, and then we'll go to the other leg. Okay, so we'll apply the oil again with long strokes up the leg. And start again with the foot. And working on the instep of the foot with my thumbs. And now working the top of the foot with my thumbs. Going down between the bones, top of the foot to the toes. It's a squeezing motion, a firm motion with your hands so it's not ticklish. Squeezing, working the bottom of the feet with your fingers at the same time. An instep in the bottom of the foot with the thumbs. Up around the heels. And we'll start up the leg. So we're going up either side of the tibia bone again. Going up either side with my fingers. Not putting a lot of weight on the bone, just working up the sides. And up on the upper thigh. Working all the way up to the hip, the top of the thumbs, and your back and forth movement. Working kind of more on the outside with the thumbs. Now more on the top. And on down. We'll finish off again with long strokes. From the foot all the way up to the top, the hips, and back down. Integrating it all. On down to the foot. Okay, now we'll work on the arms, starting again with the long strokes, applying the oil all the way up the arm to the shoulder. And we're going to start working on the hands first. I'm working down the fingers here, holding with one hand, working down each finger with the other hand. All the way down to the fingertips, gently pulling and all the way down to the tips and on the thumbs. Then turn the hand over and interlace the fingers like so. And we can begin to work on the palm of the hand and look all around the palm of the hand with our fingers interlaced. This feels wonderful. You can really get into all these little areas that can be tender and sore. Work gently. Working all around the inside, around along the base of the fingers with the thumbs. Doing some pressure point work and some stroking around the thumb. And turn it over, and then we'll work up the arm. Okay, taking long strokes up the forearm. Here we'll we'll start by working the top of the arm with the thumbs here. This can be a tight and sore area on a lot of people. So if you find tight areas, you can work them a little with your thumbs. Just do some circular motions along the tight areas with the thumbs. And turn over and work on the back side. Here we're really working both sides, focusing on the back. We're squeezing motion, so we're working the back with the fingers and the front with the thumbs. And then we lift the arm up like so and bring it back. You can lean it up against your body if you want, and we'll work the upper arm. And here we work up and down, working all the way up underneath the shoulder here, down the front, up the back, down the front, really getting down around the upper shoulders. Okay, and we can just pull it back like so, straighten it out, and gently bring it back down. Do some long strokes again to integrate it all before we leave this arm and go to the other side. Okay, and again we begin the other arm by applying the oil with long strokes up the arm. And we'll start by working on the hands, working down with the thumbs between the bones, down to the fingertips. Working down each finger, and down over the thumb, turning it over, interlacing our hands, and working the palm of the thumb, hands with the thumbs. You're using some pressure work, just pressure point work on the palms, just feeling for just areas that feel like they need work. Just feeling all around the base of the palm. This feels really, really good with the fingers interlaced like this. You can stretch a little bit too. Work some more. Then turn it over and we'll start working a little bit around the wrist before we go up the arm, and then start working on the arm. Start with the forearm here with the thumbs on the top and the fingers on the back, squeezing motion. Just remember, this can be a tender area. Make sure you're not going too deep. You don't want it to be uncomfortable. Bring the arm up. Work on the upper arm. Working all the way down to the shoulders again. back and forth. Bring it up. And here in this position too, we can work down the side of the arm a little bit before we bring it back down. And finish off with our long strokes. Okay, so we'll start on the neck and shoulders. Just applying the oil to the neck. Nice long strokes up the neck. Here we're just gently giving a nice stretch to the neck as we're stroking up the neck. And some back and forth, just pushing on the shoulders, stretching it out. And then we'll work on the top of the shoulders with our thumbs. All on top here. As we find tight areas, we can stop and work on those areas a little bit more with our thumbs, some circular movements or just some pressure work. Just work them. Find a lot of tight areas, usually up here. Just give that a lot of attention wherever they need it with your thumbs. Just work them out. And this is a nice way to stretch the shoulders here a little bit. Just this nice back and forth movement. And work more a little up the neck. And now we can take with our knuckles here, gently working on either side of the neck. Down one side, we're going up the other, and down one side with the knuckles. As always, just be gentle. This can be deep and doesn't need to be. We want them to be comfortable, so they stay relaxed. And when you find tight spots, you can work a little bit more with the knuckles here. Just work with them a little bit. And here now we can work down one side of the neck, holding the head with the other hand. We can work down one side, down the side muscle of the neck. It's a squeezing motion here. I'm getting the whole back of the neck really with my hands. Focusing on the thumbs on the side. And when there's tight areas, we just work a little pressure point or work like this. Just gently move into them. Gently pressing and leaning the head into the hand. Just helping the neck muscles to let go. And we always want to stay on this side of that muscle there. And go over to the other side, holding the hand, right side of the head with a hand, and working on the left side of the neck. Here you can see how I'm working with my thumbs on the side of the neck, and my fingers are actually reaching over to the other side. It's just squeezing motion, getting the whole neck. But I'm focusing on the side with my thumbs. Here I'm doing the pressure point again. Pressure point work down the side. Okay. Some more strokes up the neck again. Nice, these nice long strokes. And here we can reach under. I'm reached under with both hands. My hands are down between the spine and the shoulder blades on both sides. The fingers are working their way up. All that tight area of the upper back between the shoulder blades and on up the neck. We can do that again. Just hold with one hand while I reach under with the other, and then reach under with the other hand. So I have both hands under there, working my way up on either side of the spine with the fingers, finding those tight spots, working all the way up to the neck, and then working up either side of the spine with my fingers up the neck. And here we're going to work more at the top of the neck. There's an area here along the base of the skull where the muscles attach to the skull, along the occipital ridge. This is really an important area to work. You can work really gently here if you want. It can really help to let go. Help the muscles to let go all along the neck area here. Just working this tight area along the base of the skull, the muscles. This can really help with headaches too. It's often very tight along here. So just work it gently till it starts to loosen up. Can see here, I'm working here right along under the base of the skull in kind of circular motions all along that muscle ridge there, doing that on both sides. On either side of the spine. It loosens up and lets go. Okay. And some long strokes up the neck again. Long strokes, it feels so good. Okay, now we'll start with the face. We'll start with a hold. This is really relaxing hold, just holding the hands at the top of the face. And start by stroking gently down across the forehead, down over the eyes, down around the temples. Just gently down around the cheekbones with the fingertips. Face, And then we can work on the ears. Here we work very gently all around the ears. They have reflex points to the rest of the body, just like the hands and the feet. So they feel really good if you work them all around the ears very gently. And you can work either side with your fingertips on the front and the back, stroking up and down the muscles in the back and the front of the ears. Then you can take the hand and lift, hold one side of the head with the hands and start massaging the scalp. Here, circular motions all around the back, the side. The other side. And the top. Here we're working with the thumbs and the fingers, the sides and the top of the scalp. And some people like it firmer, some people like it lighter. This area often gets really tight on people. And just finish off with a few strokes. The final strokes up the neck to integrate all the work we've done. And we're just going to hold here. I'm putting my fingers on either side of the spine and the base of the skull here on the muscles. Just settling in there, holding those points along the base of the skull, under the skull, on the muscle. This is a really important hold for just relaxing the body. These are acupressure points that are very important to finish a massage with. This helps to integrate, balance. It's very, very relaxing. You can hold this area here for as long as you want. Okay. Then we're going to end by final hold here, holding the area of her hara, heart, and her hara, stomach area. Just hold. Let her just relax and settle. Taking some time here to just let everything settle in. Just relax. Okay. Okay, we'll end by holding the feet again. This helps bring her energy back down to her feet, get grounded before she begins to get up off the table. Just sweeps down the legs to help bring her back. Okay.